married now a little more than 25 years, but I have to ask you about day one. And tell us about your wedding reception, would you please?
Well, we started out with a bang. You know, when you have 25 people struck by lightning at your wedding reception, it is definitely a start to an exciting journey that we've now had. 250 people were at my parents' property. We had an outdoor wedding reception at my parents' house, and a thunderstorm in New England hit our yard. And it rained so hard, so fast, in 20 minutes. Water filled the yard, everyone's sitting in metal chairs, and the lightning struck the well in the back of our property, and it scattered right through the property and right through the entire wedding guests.
Yeah.
And it was pretty crazy. We had ambulances. My mom had hockey players laid out all over our living room floor. She's like, we did not plan for this. We had our wedding planner planning for everything but lightning. And
I remember her mom saying she spoke with her insurance company because 250 people, and there were some high-profile athletes there, and she wanted to make sure that, like, insurance-wise, she was covered. And so the way they had worded it was, everything's covered except natural disaster, which of course lightning falls into. And so she's freaking out on the day of the wedding. There's literally, 25 people laying on Kristen's family room floor. Like the whole wedding just stopped and shut down. We had 5 nurses at the wedding.
Yep.
And so the 5 nurses, until the ambulance got there, were taking all the vital signs of the people that were laying down. It wasn't like direct hit lightning. It wasn't like
it went through like the table, a 10, and it went like up a leg, jumped out an arm, jumped to you, and went right around.
Yeah, like your leg went flying out, or your arm went flying out.
My mom was mostly upset because it was just as dinner was being served, so that no one ate. And then we had such a laid out plan of the day, how it was going to just go just perfectly, and all that went right out the window.
Yeah.
And we ended up extending it, I don't know how many hours. We were supposed to at dusk walk down the driveway, and none of that happened. But it was something that people are still talking about 25 years later, and I wouldn't change a thing. And on June 8th every year, my mother reminds me, 25 or 20 years ago, it was raining.
That's right.
They say rain's good luck on your wedding day, though, and I think we've been blessed.
Yeah, you definitely exceeded that. So as the years have gone on, obviously Peter has been a very successful coach. As you've watched his career, has he changed dramatically from the man you met a little over 25 years ago?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think he's been very driven. When I met him, and he was a hockey player, getting into coaching back in the day, and
she tells me my hair has stayed the same for 25, although it's thinning. It's getting thinner up top. She tells me that my haircut has stayed the same for 25 years. So we know that stayed the same.
No, I think you've been pretty consistent. He's very driven. Peter's always been driven. He's always had a mindset of how he's wanted his teams to be, and I think we've been a team in that respect. Yeah. And kind of stayed the course and never really wavered from that true belief of what a team needs to be successful and keep it kind of simple. And it's worked out so far. I know we've been with a lot of teams, but that's been kind of a cool thing too, to be able to coach so many amazing players over the years and meet so many people in this wonderful league that I've been able to learn from and continue to grow, but yet have your message.
Yeah, I've been lucky because, like you mentioned, we've been married 25 years last summer, and so I've been so lucky that Kristen has been the solid person and the strength of our family. She's been a positive influence from a coaching standpoint. She certainly has been a positive influence from keeping our family together and being able to raise 3 kids and say, yeah, we're proud of our kids and the way that they turned out. It's certainly so much more her than it is me, just because of the job that I've had and what I've been able to do from a professional standpoint, from a personal standpoint, a home standpoint. If I don't have somebody like Kristen at home, it never gets to where we're really comfortable and proud of our kids and proud of the life we have.
Well, Kristen and Peter, thank you for inviting us into your home. Just celebrated last June your 25th wedding anniversary, so I've got to ask, I'm thinking, do you know how many homes now you have had since you and Peter have been married?
We actually counted this up because it ended up being a lot on how many properties that we bought and moved from state to state.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I think we were at 28. You know, not all of them that we've lived in it, like you know, we've had some other homes, but 28, and I do a Christmas tree every year. And my aunt had given me a ornament with hand-painted houses, and my house tree has all our stops along this wonderful journey we've been on, and so it's kind of fun to decorate every Christmas.
It's a 12-foot tree now.
It's
a big guy.
Yeah.
Does it ever get any easier?
The moves?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? I think I'm a professional packer at this point, but
We're really good at it now.
Yeah.
That's probably courtesy of me from getting fired so many times, or moving up the ladder at first, but then moving on and taking a job and moving on. And we hate it. You know, we really hate it, but you just have to do it. And so we jump in, and the truck shows up, and you got to go at it. Like you buy a house is a house, and I don't know, it's always been important that it's a home, you know,
Right.
that raise kids. And
That's my biggest thing. Every time we get someplace new, I try to make it feel like home right away. You know, I want my kids to come home if they're at college, but when they come home, like they don't go, where's this strange place? It feels comfortable. There's pictures on the walls that have always been on the walls, or we've added new teams and new fun things, but you know, it just feels that sense of coziness and someplace that we all belong. So
even from our kids' standpoint, like, because of the moves, you know, there's probably been, you know, 10 or 11 hockey moves inside of the whole thing. Our kids were through it with us for almost all of it. You know, the first move to Wheeling, West Virginia, my son's proud to say he's a West Virginian and born in Wheeling, West Virginia. And so our kids are born in 3 different states. Our dog came from a different state. And with that, I think they've really made a lot of friends and connected with a lot of people around the country that have become really good friends. And at the time, when you're moving somebody out of 7th grade, that's a tricky conversation with your kids. But once you get them through it, you get them acclimated into a new environment, they now have all these friends on a sports team or at school or in the neighborhood, and they have so many friends all over the country, and it's made them, I think, really well-rounded. They're able to adapt and adjust and make new friends. They're all have really good social skills, and because of all the moves, they've now have friends everywhere in the country.
Well, let's brag a little more about Peter, Jack, and Elizabeth. They're all at university right now, so you're kind of an empty nester for the first time.
Yes, this is our first, technically, our first year being empty nesters. Last year didn't count. But the kids are doing well. They're playing sports at their colleges, and you know, it's been really fun watching them. It's a different view as a parent, being a coach ourselves and having our own team, but to see the kids succeeding on their sports teams, to watch them as young children, but now in collegiate sports, it's really fun.
So 2 hockey players and a softball star, correct?
Yes.
So Peter and Jack are, they're both fifth year at school. Peter graduated last year in 4 years. His hockey season got canceled. He was a captain at Plymouth State and really wanted to be a part of that team. And with COVID, it got canceled and they weren't really able to have a season.
2-on-1 attack on the right side. Panthers have numbers forward. Laviolette shot, score! Peter Laviolette on a beautiful feed, and the Panthers are back up ahead, 2-1.
He ended up trying out for the baseball team. He hadn't played since high school. He made the baseball team, and so now he's playing 2 sports in this 5th year. So he's going for his master's degree and playing hockey and baseball, and that's a lot. Like, you know, but he's doing good, and he's graduated. Jack, he was on a 5-year plan. He plays club hockey at FGCU, and they allow you to play for 5 years. And we said, okay, we're Florida residents, so just, you know, let's plan on doing it this way. And so FGCU down in Florida has a Division II team and a Division III team, and they're always going to nationals. So his freshman year, 150 teams, he makes it to the final 16, national champs in Division II. Next year he goes back, 150 teams, he makes it again to the final 16, back-to-back national champs. And in his junior year, they were ranked, I think, number 2 or 3 in the country. And then NCAAs got, not the NCAAs, the national championships got canceled because of COVID. So, you know, he's had a lot of success down there.
And Elizabeth is at Boston College playing softball, and she had a great freshman year. We're so proud of her. It's just fun to watch the girls succeed and everybody out on the field finally we got to go and see them play because they were spring, and we're looking forward to this upcoming year. They're in fall ball right now and having a blast.
Did the kids just take to this natural? I mean, obviously there's a hockey background there, but did they just take to all the sports and everything naturally? Was it just something you kind of sat back and said, let's see what path they take on it?
For sure. I mean, the kids, I was an athlete as well, not obviously Peter, but we come from athletic families, and the kids, we never pushed anything on them. My oldest, Peter, I swear he had his hockey helmet and his little stick when he could walk, and he was running around the island scoring goals, so it was like in his blood to play hockey, I think. Jack has always had a little more diversity. He likes other things as well beyond sports. Like he's taking flying lessons right now. He's always been into planes and that kind of thing. But Elizabeth has always played sports, and the poor kid, being the third, was never allowed to really. Yeah,
and
she was dragged along to all these hockey tournaments, all these years following around those big brothers of hers. But when she finally got to high school, she really locked in. We were down south playing softball and really found her niche. Never thought I'd be a softball mom, but I am, and she loves it. And to see her flourish with that and be able to play year round in a climate like we were living in, and it really helped her succeed and go on to play in college. So
it's awesome. It's awesome watching your kids play sports.
Yeah.
Peter jokes that he's always more nervous. He's like, I can sit here in a Stanley Cup playoff game
in Game
and be
7,
cool as a cucumber
and function, and I can
Watching
work
his
and I can get it done.
daughter up at bat, he's completely crazed.
There's a big difference between parenting and coaching with regard to the same thing, which is watching a sport.
Yeah.
And you just find it more stressful with your kids.
Yeah.
Do you have to kind of pull back from coaching your kids? Can you just stay completely as a parent, or are you always working the refs? Or you always,
no, I think we've done a pretty good job. Yeah. Like for the most part, we stay out of it. I mean, I coach up my kids, but they want me to coach them up too. And so, but like as far as like teams go, we're low profile parents.
Yes.
We're not loud. We don't get we don't get into the mix of when the fray's going on in youth sports. We just kind of stay off the side of it and watch our kids play. But we've enjoyed it. It's been awesome watching them play. It's been great that they've been athletes this long, and they all played in college. And you don't know how long you're going to play, but the fact that they got to all go through college and play sports has been fantastic.
By having 28 different homes, that means you've been a part of 28 different communities. And I know, Kristen, in particular, that's something that's really important to you, to not just be a citizen, but to be a participant. You recently, with the Monumental Sports and Entertainment Foundation, refurbished a playground in Prince George's County. What are the things you love to do, and why is it important for you to do those things?
I love the stage that we're given with the job we have. And so for me to be able to go out into the community and sprinkle myself around and meet the people in our community in all different aspects. I love to be able to be hands-on and make a difference in a day. I'm not changing the world, but you know what? If I can help out and be a part of something and make a difference, it's very fulfilling to me. I like to be able to share that with our wives and our girlfriends and the females on the team, because there's something that we can contribute when our guys are contributing on the ice and being who they are. It's our role that we can be a part of something in our community. And I don't have like a pinpoint of exactly one charity or one thing. I always definitely do, but I like to do a lot of different things, because to me, each city we've lived in has different needs. There's different avenues, and I get enlightened by our foundations to share in those needs, and it opens up a whole nother road of something else that I can learn about and try to help in some way. If it's volunteering a few hours here and there, or it's making up baskets, or delivering food, or anything. I'm happy to jump in and get a feel for it and help as much as I can.
They actually do change the world. It's the thing, not just Kristen, but the community relations and the organizations that we've worked for, the foundations and the money that goes out, and even though they could be small things, they're still life-changing to a lot of people. And so the good that comes out of that is incredible. And we've been fortunate to be in an organizations where that's what teams do. They give back to the community, they give back to people in need, and and she's so much more heavy-handed in it, because she does a lot of different things. She's got her hand in a lot of different things, but it does change the world, even if it's in a small way, and that's a good thing.
It's a lot of fun. And we love to work with children. You know, I mean, being a mother, I obviously care a lot about kids, and be able to go in, some of the things we've done in the past, we've done bedroom makeovers for sick children. And Rhonda McCarthy and I have done it in 3 of the cities that we've lived in. And it's so fulfilling, and it's a team building thing too, because we bring everyone together and we're able to go out into a community and find a family through different avenues and be able to create a space that's for a sick child, make their space happy and make their time, if they're going through chemo or they're going through some other type of debilitating disease or something, and make their area in their life better and see the smiles on those kids' faces. There's nothing better. It's like, it just makes me get up every day and makes me happy. So.
Okay, go ahead. Got your thing, don't worry. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! This doesn't even look like my room! Trevor, get off my bed!
I love doing stuff like that. So, and when we move a lot, we're really skilled in the whole redo thing. So I got my own drills, I got my own paintbrushes, we can whip a hammer like nobody's business.
I gave Kristen a drill one time for Christmas. It was one of those ones that you saw on the infomercial where it had the 2 heads on it. One was the screwdriver and one was the drill bit, and all you had to do was flip the button and turn it over. It was the best gift I ever gave her.
I was the envy
She
of
went
all our
crazy.
projects.
She put it in her toolbox and she's like, I can now hang the blinds and I don't have to get off the ladder. So it was pretty cool.
So,
Well, I can see why this house looks so beautiful. I know who to look for. It's not, there's no swatches and fabric patterns. And
the tools are definitely over in this
over
department.
That's fantastic. There's so much going on in both of your lives, but have you had a chance to kind of enjoy being in Washington, D.C.?
We're
Not
just starting
really.
to. Yeah, I mean, we literally just got into town, both of us being here, and with things finally being opened up, we've been able to sprinkle down and be a little bit of a tourist downtown, or go and have dinner and enjoy some of the restaurants now that they're open, and now that Peter's able to go out and get out and about in the city. So we're really looking forward to it. I know there's so much to see and so many wonderful things for us to explore. And now the hockey season's here too, so you know, we're going to be out and about and going to games. And I know you're working, but I'll have some more fun.
We've been fortunate. We've lived in some great cities.
Yeah.
To come to Washington, like Kristen said, this was our first time of not having to find a neighborhood for the kids and a safe yard for the dog. And this was about us being able to move down near, you know, Arlington and be close to DC and be able to walk to restaurants. And so it's pretty cool. But with COVID, it just didn't pan out like that. Like last year was supposed to be our first year and everything was on lockdown, and Kristen was dealing with some things back in Florida, and so none of the wives came because we were kind of shut down in quarantine and couldn't go out, and the cities were a little bit shut down as well. And so, you know, the coaches moved into this house that I live in, and so Kevin McCarthy was in the basement, and Scott Murray was up above the garage in the apartment, and the other video coach lives just down the street, and so there'd be 4 coaches over here, like for dinner or for whatever, in certain times, and it was more of a bachelor pad than it was what we had thought about when we moved to a city. But we are looking forward to, you know, I said we drove home yesterday and we're like, how cool is it that we're just driving down Constitution and this is on the right, this is on the left, this is straight ahead.
Anything on the bucket list, and right at the top you say, when we get the time, this is the first thing we want to do?
I want to go to the top of the Washington Monument. You know, it's finally open, so I'm excited to do that, and because we've seen it from everywhere we look, and I'm like, I want to go up top and see it from that perspective. So,
thank you so much for doing this. We greatly appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
Thank you for having us into your beautiful home.
Great sitting down with you.